C, the first DC Comics Batman story ever created with the Marvel method. And then C, if that method was genius or madness. Hi, I'm Walt Jashik, and this is Walt Loves Comics. The Marvel method of creating comic books, meaning art generated from a slim plot, completely penciled by the artist before captions and dialogue are written and used by Stan Lee and Marvel Comics since the 1950s, had never been tried for a DC Comics Batman story until 1973, more than 30 years after the character's first appearance. It was first applied to storied effect in Batman number 251 in the story The Joker's Five-Way Revenge by Denny O'Neil and Neal Adams. Or rather, by Adams and O'Neil, because the art came first. How do we know it's the first Marvel method Batman? Denny O'Neil himself said so in a 1971 interview with St. Louis Comic Fandom, which I helped conduct, record, and transcribe when I was 15 years old. Recently recaptured in my book, The Denny O'Neil Tapes, a conversation about comics, culture, and America. In the book, Denny says that then Batman editor Julius Schwartz was reluctant to apply the Marvel method to his DC books, else he lose editorial control. But both the writer and artist had proven their reliability, Denny says, and gained his trust on other Schwartz-edited stories for 2 years. And finally, Schwartz agreed to proceed with a Marvel method Batman book as a one-off project experiment. Quote Denny in 1971, "I gave Neal a dim skeleton of a plot, and Neal will work it out from here. Here's the plot. The Joker is out of prison and back in Gotham. A deadly, homicidal maniac Joker. He is seeking out and routinely killing the 5 former gang members who ratted him out and testified against him in court earlier. It's up to Batman to intercede and save those gang members. But Batman is failing to keep up with the mad killer and foil his 5-way revenge. But the time and care the creators took turned this book into a home run. It was a smashing success at the time, sales-wise and critically, has been reprinted many times, and is generally lauded as changing the Joker's trajectory from comic relief to deadly nihilist. A 2019 article in the Vulture section of New York Magazine did a deep dive on the issue, calling it one of the most important Batman stories of all time. The article, How the Joker Became Batman's Ultimate Villain, cites Batman's reference to the Joker in the story as his arch-enemy. That keyword, says writer Abraham Reisman, quote, set up the Joker as a fearsome archetype of supreme importance in Batman lore for generations to come. Without Batman 251, we likely wouldn't have had the Joker starring in such films as the Tim Burton-directed Batman movie, the Dark Knight movies, or Todd Phillips' brutal new Joaquin Phoenix star vehicle, the latter of which is already being billed as the character's apotheosis. The comic most often mentioned as source material for Joker, the movie, is Alan Moore and Brian Bolland's Batman the Killing Joke. But that story likely wouldn't have been possible if O'Neil and Adams hadn't suggested a brutal interiority and chaotic instability for the character 15 years earlier, unquote. Here's the Joker Neal Adams delivered, and here are the captions Denny added to the splash page. it begins. From the darkness of a country road somewhere north of Gotham City, and from the greater dark of a past filled with evil, comes a terrifyingly familiar face. Thunder racks the earth, and lightning scars the sky, and wetness streams from the clouds like tears of mourning. It is as though nature itself were weeping, and well it might, for there is death abroad this night. The Joker's five-way revenge. We asked Denny O'Neil back then, before the book appeared, did he prefer working the Marvel method? In 1971, he said, quote, "In 80% of the cases, no. He was a script-first kind of guy. As far as I'm concerned," he said, "it's to break up the monotony of working the other way." But Denny was sure this project would work because of Neal Adams' story sense and involvement with it. O'Neil elaborates more on his collaborations with Neal Adams. He said, quote, "The reason my stuff looks better when Neal is doing it is because Neal is a heck of a good artist and involves himself totally. It's a matter of pride with him. He tells at least as strong a story in the picture as you've told with the words. I wish I could distill Neal Adams and put a hypo in him and inject him into every artist in the business. It's unreasonable to expect that all of them would have his technical skill, his talent, but I'd be satisfied if they all cared as much as he does." Unquote. I'm not going to show you the last few pages of Batman. You gotta see them for yourself, which you still can. The back issues are all over eBay, and maybe best of all, the Kindle edition is still available for, believe it or not, 99 cents. Don't believe it? There's an affiliate link in my description below. My book, The Denny O'Neil Tapes, is available on Amazon too, in hardback and paperback. I have a signed copy on eBay now. It's where our 1971 interview with Denny is captured. There's lots of bonus material too, including scans of a Denny O'Neil Green Lantern script gifted to me after the interview. You can see Denny working DC method. It's a very detailed script with lots of, I'm going to say, heavy-handed editing by editor Julius Schwartz. No wonder Schwartz was skeptical of the Marvel method. But as to the book's interview, it was a thrill. Being one of the first fans to hear from Denny that a Marvel method Batman story with Neal Adams was percolating at DC. I was 15 years old and my brain was lighting up at the prospect. And here I am on YouTube, a little past 15, still celebrating the genius that is Batman 251, and it's still making my brain light up. But of course it is. I'm Walt Jashik, and I love comics.